I'm reading descriptions of the characters from the from the strawberry
crispy.
book.
Uh-huh.
And I'm eating it up.
Today, in this hour,
Yeah, we're haters.
he doesn't kill her. He doesn't kill her.
No.
He just can't. I'm just
Am I
getting worked
Trixie?
up, guys. Hi, gay. Come in before it's too late. I don't know. Vibes, babe. Bippity boppity, like, boo, Leviosa.
There is not a day that goes by that I don't think about Hermione Granger. Luckily,
No,
I
really.
have books.
I did judge a book by its cover, and I wasn't wrong.
Those two books live in my mind palace. You write like a middle schooler because I was gagged at the end of Nightbane. Like, so y'all were in love?
Oh, that's crazy.
I've cracked the code. I can't believe I just said a serial killer's boyfriend. Not now. I'm reading through my fan.
Oh, I'm gonna house that in one sitting someday.
I can't believe you did our man Aaron Warner like that.
I clawed my way to the end of that book.
I got bamboozled by the Fae themselves. Mamas, you don't need to describe every date they went on. I would have been impressed if like a 7th grader wrote this. I've kind of got to live with the fact that you win some, you lose some. And you lost.
They're so toxic, but I love them. Our problem bank is empty. We're in debt. Welcome back again.
Welcome
I know
back.
no time's passed for us, but a lot of time should have passed for everybody else.
Oh my god, are you drinking one of the coconut ones?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god.
Duh.
I drank my last one like 2 days ago. I have to buy more.
Oh, I think this is quite literally the 6 pack we've gotten.
It's so
My
good.
mom goes through it so quickly. Today, in this hour,
In this hour.
in this segment, oh
well,
my god, I always wonder how talk show hosts do it, because I would just get bored. I have such a hard time focusing, where I'm even though I care and I'm trying to actively listen, my brain wants to wonder so badly.
yeah. What were we talking about? Oh, well, guys. Hopefully by the time you're watching this, it's not June. Maybe July. Like first
Probably
week of July, maybe you'll be watching this. Happy 4th. But as we know, it is halfway through the year.
Yes.
So, if you didn't listen to the last episode, we have tried to film this. This is our 3rd try. So we're kind of you've heard it.
We've heard it.
At the end of the day, Goodreads said, hey, it's halfway through the year. These are the most popular books of the year so far. So we thought we would come on and give you our top 5 books that we've read so far. And maybe we'll talk about some of the books we hated so far. Maybe. Who knows?
That's the more important part, you know?
Yeah, we're haters. It's honestly easier to talk about a book you hated.
Sometimes. Oh, well. So, unfortunately, because we have already filmed this, we did guess and then get to hear each other's answers. But I'm gonna guess again.
Yeah, we got through Lucy's list.
Yeah.
But we didn't get through mine, I don't think. We got through one. We got through number 1, and then it said, you're done. So, do you want me to guess for you? Do you want to guess for me first?
Yeah. I remember what I said for you. I
Okay.
said, what order did I do them in? Leather and Lark. That's the first one, right? No, in the series.
Oh, no, it's not. It's Butcher and Blackbird.
Butcher and Blackbird. Yes. Okay.
You got
that
it.
one. I said Belladonna, and then I said assistant to the villain.
Okay.
And that was my 3 in no particular order, but we did a top 5, but those are I think those are going to make your list somewhere.
Okay. Do you you want me to guess yours?
And secret is, I know the answers. Yeah, I would. Do you remember what you said?
I do.
Mm-hmm.
Lightlark / Nightbane. Dance of Thieves / Vow of Thieves. And oh fuck. What was the third one? Oh my god.
Powerless.
Powerless. That was the third one. Yes. How could I forget?
So I did my list based on like if there was multiple books out that I had read, like that did kind of sway my ranking. And Rachel got really specific and she picked like exactly which books.
Yeah. So if it was in a series, I picked like which book in the series.
Yes. So my number one, drum roll please, was Powerless.
Woo!
I love that one, and we were talking about this because Reckless does come out in like 2 days from right now, and I wanted to do a reread of Powerless, but like I don't think I might not at this point because like we're getting down to the wire and I like don't have time and I don't want to bring it with me on our trip, but I feel like if I reread it I wouldn't like it as much as like I'm remembering it. But it was so good because like I don't know, I just loved everything from like how their like system was set up, even though it was kind of confusing and it took me a minute to figure that out. But I love the way the system was set up. I love the like Hunger Games-esque kind of trial they were in, and like that was such a good like bonding moment for the Kai and Peyton. And I think I also am just like really excited to see what happens because like they did have like a little blurb of Reckless in the back of my copy, and I like read it and I was like, I have to know what happens because he doesn't kill her. He doesn't kill her. No. He just can't.
He can't. Because there's gonna be a third one.
Well, I'm afraid they're like not even gonna end up together. Like she's gonna run away or something, and I can't. That's not good enough for me either.
Yeah.
But I just feel passionately about this book.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, and then like also I feel like. Well, I'll keep going, and then my second was Lightlark / Nightbane, which I just love. They also had a really good, interesting, like fantasy like world system. Although now that I'm kind of thinking about it, like I liked they were long, and I remember when we originally talked about it, like we liked how Lightlark was set up to be like at halfway through the book was like halfway through the trials, right? But I do feel like even though Nightbane I did like because like she did really good at like jumping back and like filling the plot and like continuing like the storyline by like using flashbacks. I just think that one was like so well written, and like that is really why it made my like number two. Is just like she like I want to see her storyboard. It's so impressive how she like planned all of that out, and I'm sure she probably had to plan all 3 books out.
Are you good?
Dr. Pepper's getting to me.
Oh.
You come in here and you drink by the baby Coca-Cola.
Yeah, your mini Coca-Cola.
Paint your face geisha white. That's me. I'm Brittany Broski in that video. I'm just getting worked up, guys. Yeah, duh. And if we were a Trixie Katya duo, I would be Katya, unfortunately.
I don't know about maybe, yeah. Decide in the comments below.
Who would be Trixie and who would be Katya? Before Pride Month's over, guys, hurry. Hi, gay. Come in before it's too late.
Hi, gay.
Oh, just I've lost it at this point. Okay, number 3 was the Dance of Thieves duology. I like honestly, if it was like, oh, why? I don't know. Vibes, babe.
Yeah,
Vibes.
Lucy really just when she finished Vow of Thieves, which is the second book in the duology, she was like, I just loved it. I don't know why. It did something for me. And I was like, you go, queen. I was still like maybe I just reached halfway. This bitch read it in a day. She read a dense fantasy novel in a day. I was like, I'm having trouble.
Oh, I, you know what's funny too is like my degree is in words. I like studied literature. I should be better at this, and I'm like vibes.
Yeah.
I don't care vibes.
You're like, did I have a good time?
It just
Yes.
was, yeah. I had a good time. It checked all my boxes. I think I also like a strong female lead, which all of the last three books I like
Yeah.
series I mentioned have a strong female lead, and I think that is the connection I'm seeing. I really like
Yeah.
that. So Rachel was right. She literally got all of mine, because I'm predictable, but that's okay. Number 5. This one I talked about briefly, but I think it comes a little out of left field because I think about it a lot, but I don't bring it up a lot. Is the Dangerous Damsel series, which is the like the Wisteria Society.
Yeah. The witches
Um,
and whatnot.
It's like the pirates and the witches and whatever, and it's kind of a period piece fantasy. I really like that because again, strong female leads, a little bit magical, but like not like bippity boppity, like boo leviosa. Um,
Leviosa. Oh, I miss her.
and so I always miss her.
I,
Where is she?
I actually, there is not a day that goes by that I don't think about Hermione Granger. There's not a day.
Oh, lives rent free. If
Emma
I
Watson,
ever
if
met
you
Emma
want to hang
Stone,
out, I'm right
oh
here.
Emma Stone. Why did I say Emma Stone?
I'll hang out with her too. I love her.
All the Emmas gather.
Gather.
I know, and I'm sure people have said this. Has Emma Watson, Emma Stone, and Emma Roberts ever been in a room together?
I don't know. With the Oscars, maybe?
But I want them to sit down, and you know the actors on actors interviews, they need to do like a trio.
Yes.
That would be insane. Okay. The Dangerous Damsels series, I like that one. Just it was like kind of kitschy in a good way, like not Hallmark kitschy, but just kind of like I don't know. It was light. It was easy. I love the covers. I only own one actual physical copy of that book, and of that series. All the other ones I got from the library, and if I had infinite money hack, I'd be buying stuff. It's hard to justify buying something. Sorry, I feel like I just had a sip of caffeine, and I'm like.
No, I'm loving it. I feel like we've finally gotten our energy back because I think we started filming in fear. Like just pure like is it gonna happen? But I think we're okay now. You've had your soda, I have my iced tea, like
we're good. It's fine, guys. Yeah, it's hard to justify buying books you've like already read because like I'm not gonna reread this series, but like they're so pretty, I want to own them. It's the trophy.
A trophy. That's the thing that I don't understand about all these like book talk girls or like book YouTube girls who read a book on their Kindle, then they go proceed to buy said physical book. I understand the whole like trophy situation, but you're not going to touch it again. That book is not going to get cracked open. Like, and they have infinite money glitch because they're influencers. So they literally get paid to like read. But we don't have infinite money glitch. If someone wants to provide infinite money glitch, let us know in the comments below.
Send us books. We love book. We will read books. Send us book.
I'll read anything.
I have book.
Oh, luckily I have book. Sorry.
I have book.
The caffeine.
On one. Okay, and then number 5.
Woo!
Number 5.
We're not doing it.
Chestnut Springs. Okay, this might have shocked some of you because
I
love Rebel Blue. No. No. Let me finish.
Okay.
Rocking my enclosure. Chestnut Springs over Rebel Blue. It was a battle. I literally stared at this is my notes app. I was like, fuck, what do I do? I love the Rebel Blue Ranch series. It's what got me into cowboy romance. because the cover got me. Okay, I did judge a book by its cover, and I wasn't wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. But we were talking about this with our friend Maddie, who we also got to read the series so far. Like, there's only 2 out. The third one's coming out so soon. But like the second book with Lila was just like not as good. And it wasn't bad, but it was just like the first book I really, really liked. And the second book I was like, first of all, it's like literally I think 75 pages shorter than the first book. And like the third book's going to be like longer than it too. So I felt like it was such filler. Like the author was like, she like pitched the story and then she kind of like got a deal to like write all 3. And she's like, okay. And she like just made her way through this one. I don't know if that's true. I'm not sure. But it just wasn't my favorite, which is why Chestnut Springs is on there, because I feel like I genuinely enjoyed all 6 books and I tore through those.
Yeah.
And I'm now like a huge Elsie Silver fan.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe it's just because there's more content and more variety. I think like not all of the books were like a hit. There were 6 books, like come on. But like I feel like I just enjoyed the variety more.
Yeah.
Some quick honorable mentions because 5 is not enough. Assistant to the Villain, I did really like that, and I'm excited for Apprentice. Rebel Blue Wrench, obviously, still up there for sure. And then Divine Rivals, which I am reading right now, but I am enjoying a lot. And that was a hard one because I was like, I also want to put Undertaking of Heart and Mercy, but I think I'm enjoying Divine Rivals more. So we'll see where we end up in 6 more months.
Yeah, we'll
Thank
let you guys know. Keep you updated. See if this
I
list change.
my time.
Yeah. Well.
Okay.
If anyone's curious.
After that tornado.
Okay. In a particular order, I have number 1 is Marrow by Bryn Weaver and Trista Wolfe.
I'm gonna be honest. I didn't forget you read that, but you read so many serial killer romances that I think I did get it a little bit confused with Butcher and Blackbird.
That's because I think
you read them like right after each other.
I might have.
I think.
I can't remember, but anyway, spoiler alert, my number 2 is Butcher and Blackbird. Those 2 books live in my mind palace, especially Marrow. Something about the writing in that book, just like the front of my brain, it's all of my frontal lobe. I don't know why. Well, I know why. The writing is good. The characters are good. I get a strong female lead, but she's strong in the like... There's a different strong in a fantasy character and a serial killer. Because a serial killer, you have to be cunning and vindictive and like sneaky, and I like that, you know. And the love story between, I think I like when they're both serial killers, when the man and the woman, and either they're fighting each other for like territory, or in like Butcher and Blackbird's case, they kind of come together and work together to like kill their victims. So we got both ends of the spectrum.
Did you ever watch that Apple Plus series with Kaylee Cuoco? And they do like the murder podcast, and like they're like, but we have to make it different. So they find an active murderer and they like get him to like be on the podcast anonymously. This was like a year, I think like last summer. Okay,
I'm gonna look that up because that sounds right up my alley. But
it was pretty good.
What I have learned in my taste these 6 months, I do not like a... This is so niche. If your female lead is into true crime, I'm not picking up the book. You've lost me. Because I personally don't... I was never into true crime. I'll watch a documentary. I will. And I liked even the Ted Bundy movie with Zac Efron. I talk about it all the time now. I liked it. But I think I like the dramatization more than I like the actual like true crime, going through the evidence. I don't care. Because in my bottom 3 is a book called Love in the Time of Serial Killers. That has got to be, sorry to our author, that what were you thinking? Your writing is not good. You write like a middle schooler. Sorry.
Amazing.
Heated. I will not be picking
Deep
up
breath.
another one of your books. Anyway, back to my top 5. Number 3 is Nightbane. Specifically Nightbane.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. I loved Lightlark, but I thought Nightbane was better because I was gagged at the end of Nightbane. Like, I've never been mouth ajar, almost crying at my place of work because of this ending. It tore me to shreds. And I love like this was not a prequel, but I love the vibe of a prequel where you're finding out things that happened. Like, I loved the flashbacks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's why I'm also open to, this is so random, but I think that's why I'm open to watching House of the Dragon and not Game of Thrones, because I like a prequel. Like, you know, not that I'll know anything that's happening, like all the like hidden clues to like the Game of Thrones. Anyway.
I feel like if you didn't get in on the ground floor of that series, there's no catching up.
There's no hope. But anyway, Nightbane I liked a lot better, just because I liked going back and finding out her history with Grimm. I was like, so y'all were in love? Like, oh my god. Crazy. Number 4.
Mm-hmm.
I have on here that it is Powerless. So I'm going to go with that. I'm kind of unsure. I don't know why. I think it's because I'm really nervous for Reckless. And here's another thing about me. I don't like when something gets too popular. It kind of is a turnoff for me. I kind of like things to stay niche. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Fourth Wing has like gone down the drain for me because it's being filled with the like popularity and like all the like not book girls are like reading it to be like book girls.
I think it makes it like the brand of that book or series or that author diluted.
Yes.
If that makes sense. So it's like when it has its like group, like everyone appreciates it for what it is, but I think when it gets really popular and like mainstream per se, like it kind of takes this direction of like people projecting things onto it. It's like, why do I need like a Basquiat like sweatshirt? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're losing the plot. And I liked the plot of,
just my 2 cents.
This is someone who is young, talented, and really just wanted to write like a young adult fantasy and did it, and that's amazing. But it's like, the weirdos are starting to get attached to it. And I'm just so scared.
We're the weirdos.
We're the weirdos, but like, it's like when I see the lifestyle girlies on YouTube, like starting to read like ACOTAR and Fourth Wing, and I'm just like, what are you doing? This isn't your space. You know? Anyway, I'm just in a cynical mood. I do really like Powerless. I think it has all of the tropes that you could ever want in fantasy, and like especially like enemies to lovers. Like it but now we're back to enemies. So it's enemies to lovers to enemies to I don't, where do we end up? And I think I'm just scared.
It's terrifying. We are on the precipice.
But I do like their characters.
I don't know.
I do like Payton. I wish we didn't make her so skeletally. Like, I mean,
she is actively starving in the streets.
Okay, but anyway. And then my 5th book, number 5, I put Love Theoretically by Ellie Hazelwood.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah. I didn't think that would end up there, but I really enjoyed that book. something about the scientists. Okay, so how many books? Okay, so we got two books where the main character, the main male, is Jack, and then also two books in the same two books. They're scientists. Love Theoretically, I think it just opened my eyes to contemporary romance, and that it doesn't have to be cringe. There were some moments. The our main female character in Love Theoretically, her favorite movie is Twilight. Scare. Okay, millennial.
It's a good movie.
I think that's the problem. I've cracked the code. The problem with contemporary romance is that it's written by millennials.
Yeah. I feel like Gen Z is like into fantasy a lot, and that's like we're seeing a lot more fantasy come from like Gen Z.
But I did really enjoy Love Theoretically. I do think about it often. I really like the characters. Jack is like Jack from Marrow and Love Theoretically are the blueprint for like boyfriend material. I can't believe I just said a serial killer's boyfriend material. Don't come for me. Or do. I don't care. Anyway.
I live at 333.
I'll drop my address in the chat.
Oh my gosh.
I have 3 honorable mentions because again, 5's not enough. This is in no particular order. This is just books that I was like thinking about. I also have Assistant to the Villain because that is just like quintessential cozy fantasy. Also, she's in love with the villain. Hello, like it's perfect. And I am excited for the second one. She has to get her man's back. Oh my god.
That might push it up more. Who knows?
Yeah, we don't know. Number 2 is Vicious by V.E. Schwab.
Oh yeah.
Because Victor motherfucking Vale. If you don't pull up at my Addy right now, we're gonna have some issues. That book was so good and really made me use my noodle up here.
Oh. It was a long one. It took you like a while to finish because it was just long.
It was long, but it was I had to really pay attention to what was happening and like all their kind of powers and like the science behind it. But I enjoyed taking my time with it and like really like delving into the characters. And I love the way it was written because it wasn't really like dual POV or triple POV. It was all third person, but we got like different lenses of the characters. But it wouldn't tell you who's speaking in said chapter. It would just like talk about it from like that, like, because it's not that their perspective. It's just because it's like their third person. Like I really enjoyed that, and I thought that added a lot, and we got a lot of like actually good background info on each of the characters that was, you know, on both sides too. On the like, I mean, they're all villains. That's the point. They're all bad people, but we got from like the Victor side and the Eli side of like all of the people, which was, it was just really well done. And I think about it, you know, it doesn't come up often, but I'm like, that was good. And there wasn't romance in it. So it was kind of weird to like have a book that I enjoyed so much not be like tied together by, okay, well, someone's going to fall in love, you know? And last, but certainly not least, and I haven't even finished this book, I just have a good feeling about it. That is Bloody, Slutty, and Pathetic. The Hermione fanfiction.
Oh my god.
It's just really good! Okay.
No, but like honorable mention because you had to mention one of them at least.
Yeah. You know, like it had to be on there, and I just... When I first picked this one up, and granted, these are pretty slow reads for me because I'm reading them on my Kindle, and the chapters are really long. And so it takes me a while because I'll read one chapter and I'll be like, I gotta put this down for a second because there's a lot of information to take in, and I need to remember what's happening. Because there's a lot of political things that are happening. There's a lot of Draco being like a mob boss. There's a lot. But it is real good. It's just, yeah, it had to be mentioned because while it might not make the top 5, it's right here. You know,
Draco,
and again,
Draco lives in our hearts rent free.
I just really like it. When I first picked it up, I was like, I need to consume this. I was like, I couldn't read anything else. Lucy was like, oh, like, so there was something where it was like, oh, are we going to read this? And I'm like, not now. I'm reading Hermione fan. I was like, I can't put it down. Like, it kept. And then when I finally figured out how to put that shit on my Kindle, it was over for y'all.
Oh. Rachel has read 16 million Draco fanfics in the last 3 weeks.
I think there's something very comforting about it. And that sounds so sad, but there's something about already knowing the characters.
I think I'm really impressed by that because I'm someone who like I can't even eat leftovers, which is so bad because like I do, but like I don't like eating leftovers because I'm like, I just had that last night. Like I don't like rewatching shows. Like I've never been able to like fully rewatch a whole like season of something. I'm just not someone who can like I need a like what's weird is like I feel like I need a lot of change in my like consumption of things like food and media. Not life though. Hate change. No, I'm just kidding. But I don't know. I find that so interesting how like not in a bad way. Like I'm just fascinated by how like enthralled you are by like the same characters, and I think that's really like it's good that you like stick with it. Like you really have something you like.
Yeah, I think there's something. While I say like it is comforting to read these same characters, I cannot tell you how these authors change specifically Hermione and Draco so much in each of these different fan fictions. Like there's one that I'm reading where like Draco could be like super like he's still, I mean, like Draco as we know him, like he's kind of sarcastic and kind of an ass, but like he's sweet at the end of the day. But then I'm reading the one now and it's like mob boss, he ripped out someone's tongue, like what the fuck, like that he. And then Hermione in the one that I'm reading now, I don't give two shits. Like she's very like strong female lead. Like we can change them so much, and I think I just really like seeing how these characters that are so comforting, like to me, like I could rewatch, put on Harry Potter right now. Like it's so like I love it, but we get to see how they evolve. It's kind of like if we got Harry Potter like post Hogwarts, you know, and I like that. But I see, actually, this is really interesting. Not a book topic, but now I need to talk about this. I think that's really interesting that you like aren't someone who rewatches like a whole series of a TV show, like because I'm the opposite. I'll rewatch Parks and Rec until I am actually in the grave, but I can't pick up a new show. I can't do it. Like I can, and I have, but it's in like really specific. Like obviously, I had to pick up Parks and Rec, and it was a new thing to me at one time. But do you get what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I just feel like there's so much to consume, especially like in books and like TV, that like sometimes I look at something and I'm like, why would I rewatch that when like, you know, I'm watching Sex and the City for the first time, and like that's just like another sitcom. Like I could watch Seinfeld or I could watch Friends or The Nanny. I really like old sitcoms.
Yeah.
And like I can rewatch episodes of like Seinfeld and Friends, but like I'm not gonna start from the beginning and like do that where I rewatch it. And like I've rewatched episodes of Parks and Rec, but like I don't like actively like I know some people are like, I've seen this season 17 times through, and I'm like, I can't do that.
I don't know if I could reread a book again. I mean, maybe like one day. But I think in TV, it's so different for me. Because, like, bitch, I'm rewatching Dance Moms right now. I've seen that show probably 40 times. But, like, I fell asleep to it. Like, it's bedtime.
Yeah.
It's sleepy. It's Mimi's time. I like, good night. Because it's comforting. Because it's just, like, background noise.
Mm-hmm. I
But
will say I'm a big movie rewatcher. Like, I don't watch a lot of new movies. Like, I've seen 10 Things I Hate About You 7 times. And
yeah.
I only watched it for the first time, like, 2 years ago. I love
Yeah.
that movie. I've been actually wanting to put it on again, and I might when I pack. Because I know what's going to happen, so I'm not going to, like, sit down and, like, stare at the TV.
Yeah. I love, like, don't get me wrong, like, I really enjoy going to the movies and, like, going or, like, watching a movie at home, but I kind of stopped doing that. But then I met you guys and I was like only looking at the TV, like,
Yeah.
but I can't do that now because I'm alone. What am I gonna do? Put on this movie that I know would be more fun if I watch it with my friends? No.
You gotta get a craft. You gotta learn how to, like, do something with your hands. I
Yeah.
don't know. That's how I, like, watch a lot of media.
But then the
Brains
thing
are
is, I have to buy
broken.
said craft. And then that brings us to a
Yeah.
whole another topic of consumption.
Well, you've coloring books. You could color or something.
Oh, I could color. Yeah. I think I also stopped watching a lot of TV, like new TV, when I started being literate again.
Yeah,
When I
that too.
regained
I
my
like my
literacy.
digital, like, visual media consumption is, like, dropped so
Yeah.
significantly because it's like I'll just read a book for hours.
Yeah.
But I did that when I was a kid all the time.
Me
Even though
too.
I don't know, I don't know when I found the time, but I was watching hours of TV and reading for hours all the time as a kid. I was
One of my
consuming like no other.
one of my core memories actually has to do with reading. And this was when I was in probably like third or fourth grade. And I could not, for the life of me, you couldn't rip Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, the book, out of my little paws. I remember going to lunch, like, my mom was like, oh, like, because we had, like, lunch planned with, like, one of her friends, and I was going to come along to lunch. I was sitting there at lunch reading.
Oh, you see that all the time.
Like, I probably read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe 20 times. Like, it was, that book is such a core memory. That movie, did you know, was like 3 hours?
No, I've actually never read or seen the movie. Read the book or seen the movie.
I mean, the movie is 3 hours, so I don't know if I recommend that. Just because, like, uh, um, but it's cute. It's for kids.
Yeah.
But that, I'm like,
How
when,
long is the book?
I don't
I'm gonna
know.
look it up.
Remember when we had that whole conversation about, like, what we read in, like, elementary school?
Yeah.
That was so fun to figure out, like, the differences.
Because we all grew up in different states, so it was
Yeah.
like kind of different. But
So it's
same.
206 pages.
Oh, I'm gonna house that in one sitting someday. Not today.
It's cute. It's very, like, kids fantasy. There's a talking lion, like,
In the title,
mm-hmm.
I think I always just thought it was kind of like The Wizard of Oz,
Yeah.
but different. I don't know.
Very Wizard of Oz-esque.
Like, oh my gosh, should we get into what we hated this 6 months, this
Oh my
season?
god, yes, absolutely.
Okay. My number one was the Shatter Me series.
I can't believe you did our man Aaron Warner like that.
I liked him. Every book read, I wanted to claw my eyeballs out. It was so bad.
Lucy was like, I don't know if I can
And-
continue.
And I just like couldn't. I couldn't. But I did for you, for y'all, for everybody. Like, if I could have those hours of my life back, please and thank you.
That's
Um,
warranted. Like,
Well, the worst part is like the first one was like bad. It was bad. And then we read that like novella, which was like okay. And then the second one was like, and the third one was good. But then I was like, you want me to read 12 more books? No. I also think it's interesting because those books were like came out in like 2016,
Yeah.
which is obviously a while back from now. Um, and so I think they were like kind of popular then, but like you'll still see book talk people reading and talking about that series. But like compared to now, like I would not recommend that to anybody. Like there's
I
plenty of stuff to read.
yeah, I wouldn't be like, okay, so this you have to read this. No.
Yeah.
Because if you are reading it for Aaron Warner, don't even read it. Like
He's not
it's
there.
not worth it.
Okay, my second most hated book was If You Hate Me, and that was the Canadian hockey romance. That was like this girl lost her like quit her job because it was like terrible and like needed to move out of like this terrible roommate situation. So she moved in with her brother and his roommate who were like professional hockey players in on whatever Canadian team. And she like this like these boys have been like childhood best friends. And so like the sister and the best friend have always like hated each other. But then they started like hooking up and then they did like each other and then I like at this point I don't even remember, but I just remember like we were halfway through the book and I was like, why am I still reading this? And I finished it. I clawed my way to the end of that book. But I remember finishing it and was like, this was a waste of time.
Yeah.
This was stupid. And I talked at length about that one in a previous episode, so I don't need to get into it. And then my bottom third, and this kind of surprised me, but like I felt like I read these around the same time, was Twisted Games, which is part of that like big series. And this was the one where she's like the princess who needed a bodyguard and she fell in love with a bodyguard. And I think it's I wanted to love that one because like I read Red, White, and Royal Blue last summer and I enjoyed it. It was a good book. This one was just like boring. Like I know Red, White, and Royal Blue is not the same, but like royalty, whatever.
The vibes.
Yeah. It was boring. Again, like I felt like I got halfway through the book and I was like, it's not over. Like we're still like it just felt like I think the reason I didn't like a lot of these books is because they weren't even long. They were like maybe 350 pages average.
Yeah.
But like I would get halfway through the book and I was like, nothing's happened. Or like just the most mundane thing. And that goes back to your point from earlier where it's like something needs to be happening. Like it needs to be meaty. Like there needs to be something other than like romance or whatever. And the stupid thing is like all of these kind of had that. Like Shatter Me was like more about the superpowers, and If You Hate Me was more about like not really more about hockey, but and Twisted Games was supposed to be about like how she's this princess, but like boo. I didn't
But,
like
like,
any of them.
do something.
No, really. And I think I don't know if this is true. If you hated it this much, but I feel like Cruel Prince is going to be on yours, and I actually kind of liked that one. That was like more in the middle for me.
That is interesting. I'll give you a spoiler. It's not. I do. It's not like it's close. Like it's teetering bottom three because it's just not what. And I got tricked. I got bamboozled by the Fae themselves.
Yeah.
I just got bamboozled by the TikTok people being like enemies to lovers. No. This is a story of betrayal and politics, which wasn't really my thing. But I do love Cardin. Like, he's such a sweetie. Like, I like him. But, like, would I ever go back and read The Cruel Prince? No chance. You couldn't pay me. Like, I don't want to. I'm
not going back to read it, but, like, I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't walk away being like, that was a waste of my time. Unlike some of those other ones I talked about. This isn't about me anymore.
Oh, no. I love it. I don't think this is in a particular order. But I did give a spoiler early in this episode of one of my bottom three, which was Love in the Time of Serial Killers. So this was the book where Main girl is really into true crime. She doesn't move. She goes back to Florida to where her dad lived. Her dad died. She is going to clean out his house and sell it. She meets the neighbor she's like, oh, he's a serial killer. Right off the bat. He just offered to help her, like, move her desk. Like, in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And mamas, you think he's just a nice man. I don't know. It's because she's so into true crime that she's now so paranoid. But she, like, I guess one night sees him, like, doing something in his garage, and he's, like, covered in this, like, liquid, and he's, like, pulling in tarps. He's fixing guitars for the music class that he teaches. So he's putting down, like, tarp and stuff so he could paint the guitars. It was so poorly written. I can't... And oh my god. You know in books, when the chapter's kind of wrapping up, and the characters, let's say, are going to go get coffee. The love interests are going to go get coffee. I don't need the coffee scene described to me. This bitch, the next chapter was the coffee shop. Mamas, you don't need to describe every date they went on. Like, clearly they're, like, going on dates, you know? Oh my god, I would have been impressed if, like, a 7th grader wrote this. I'd be like, damn! This is a middle-aged woman! And I said in my review, I gave it, like, 1 star, and I was like, this book would have been better if the guy was a serial killer.
Yeah. That's just, like, hard, because you were reading a lot of, like, serial killer books, and then, like, this almost seemed advertised like that, and it just simply wasn't.
Yeah. Number 2. Our Secret Moments. Sorry. I really didn't like that book.
Yeah, that is, like, right above number 3. You know what I mean?
What was my review? I said 2.8. It's definitely lower. It's definitely like a 2. I said they can't all be winners. And I think I figured out that golden retriever boys do nothing for me. Connor and Catherine were just not my cup of tea, and I felt no connection to them personally. I didn't connect to the characters, and I think, like, getting through that, I was like, oh, this is a waste of time, because I'm not even rooting for these people, because they're both wimpy. They're wimps. Wimp. Grow a spine.
Like, the more we read from that author, and the more I, like, think back on it, I'm like, why did I start liking her work to begin with?
Because you read Good Grades and Mystery Games, and that book was phenomenal.
Yeah. You know,
like,
and they all can't be winners.
Yeah, and that's, I mean, you kind of got to live with the fact that you win some, you lose some, and you lost. Sorry. And my number 3 is not Cruel Prince, but it is My Roommate's a Vampire. Oh, honey, I wish I could get my hours back.
I thought you liked that book.
No. I liked the vampire. He was cute. I didn't like it, though.
This is just not how I remembered you talking about that book. I believe you. This is your opinion, but not that
and
I've
maybe
read
things have changed. I think why it ended up on this list is because that's the wrong one. Sorry. Bestie Lauren, shout out Bestie Lauren, recently picked this book up at my recommendation. So I am so sorry. But in terms of what she likes in books, I was like, oh, she would like this because it's endearing. But like I thought it would be more her pace, and it ended up being like less of mine. It was cringe because of the main female character, because she was, I don't know the term. but she would be like, I'm so poor. I can't get a job. You're not trying. Like, she wants to be an artist when this bitch has never done art. Like, it was just,
and people just don't want to work these days.
She was so millennial cringe that it was horrendous to read. He was great. Oh. If I could just get a book about him as a vampire in the 21st century, it'd be incredible. Oh my god. And I probably will read the second one. Because it's about Reggie, and I like Reggie. I did say I'd recommend it, though. What the fuck was I thinking? I also liked, again, with the vampire, Freddy, he would leave these little notes around the apartment. Because basically a summary is she moves in with this vampire. And they clearly have very different schedules because he sleeps all day and he goes out at night. And he would, like, leave notes to, like, communicate with her. And so at the beginning of some of the chapters, we would get his little notes. And he's just so itty-bitty. Well, he's not itty-bitty, but, like, he's so, like, oh, you don't know what's going on. Oh, wow.
She's a cutesy little ladybug.
He's an itsy-bitsy ladybug. Except she's huge. She's a mammoth, of course.
She's a mammoth, of course.
That audio is you to me. I hear that audio and I go,
me?
Lucy. Yeah. I was like, she's an itsy-bitsy ladybug. Anyway, yeah,
Yeah, and if you don't worry, guys, if someone says a whale is beached, I just ate lunch. I love those TikToks. They're so toxic, but I love them.
I love them. Yeah, I didn't like it. I hate, well, you know this. I hate, like, a quirky female main character.
I'm surprised that Ali Hazelwood book with the unicorn socks didn't end up at the bottom. The bottom, but, like, lower. I don't know where it is, though.
I don't know where it is at this time. I didn't like her.
Rank 51 books with us.
If you would watch that, actually, comment down below. But
ranking every book I've ever read in my entire life.
I didn't mind it. Like, I thought the premise of that book, like the fake dating, it had a good backbone. We just lost the plot when we put on the unicorn socks and the bio ninja shirt. I mean, yeah. he was kind of it, though. Like, he was kind of sexy. I'll give it that. So maybe that's
4 out of 5.
Out of 3.
He was hot.
I think that's honestly probably what I fucking wrote. But yeah.
Amazing.
Don't wear unicorn socks.
What an amazing...
Sorry.
We are in a little bit of a lag, and I have no idea how that's going to turn out when I edit this. But that's not the problem. That's not my problem right now.
Yeah. We've had enough problems that we can't afford anymore.
Can't afford. Our problem bank is empty. We're in debt. No money. In terms of money, we have none.
No money.
No money. Yeah, who's excited for Minions 4?
Raise your hand if you're going to see Minions 4. Raise your hand if you're going to get the Baby Bjorn popcorn bucket.
Raise your hand if you're going to get that weird drink holder.
Raise your hand if it's going to be filled with Dr. Pepper.
First the zombies allegations, now this.
We can't win.
Can't win.
We keep outing ourselves.
6 months. For real. 6 months of everyone just getting to know us.
Yeah, really. I hope you guys have enjoyed it.
What an amazing time. Well, thanks for joining us for 6 months. And if you just showed up, you've 6 months of content to watch.
Yeah, congratulations. You'll never be bored on a car ride, a flight, cleaning your house.
Ever.
Yeah.
And you can rewatch them. That's the best part. Oh. Well, bye, Podians.
Bye, Podians.